Quite often in our understanding from the work we've done with people in the past, at the second chakra level, the feminine might see men as not being relationally accountable, meaning he doesn't understand what I feel or my point of view or what's important to me as part of the relationship dynamics. He doesn't get who I am and how that I see everything from the vantage point of relationship or how I relate to my friends or my family. If women operate more from a relational vantage point, second chakra, and they see men as not being relationally capable of being relationally accountable, how dissatisfied or disappointed or upset or angry or hurt or wounded might they be by men not operating in what women would perceive to be a relationally accountable way. The masculine might operate from an intellectual or supposedly rational and logical way and say to the feminine, you're not being personally accountable because we made this agreement and you said you were going to do this and you said this was going to be this way. And your emotional process, all this relational stuff that you're involved in got in the way of this simple logical agreement. So you're not being interpersonally accountable, not relationally, just personally and interpersonally accountable within the vantage point of the masculine perspective on relationship. Are these two views kind of speaking at cross purposes to each other without realizing they're speaking two different languages, two different views, two different sets of values, two different relational dynamics and processes that remain unresolved and generative of relational conflict without becoming able to realize that they're operating in those unresolved ways, whether by conditioning, familial conditioning, tribal conditioning, karmic conditioning from past lives or from the karma of the collective. Do men and women tend to operate via default chakras quite often? And are each of those chakras a sort of default lens on other, on relationship, and on self? And is there a Rosetta Stone between the chakras that allows for translation to these different levels in words that can be soothing, smoothing, balancing, harmonizing, understanding, shared understanding, producing? We would suggest in the current, and we don't mean this facetiously, in the current design model of humanity, 7 main in-body chakras, if you operate from the Hindu system, I believe it's 5 in the Chinese chakral system. In the current way of organizing one's life process and management and of the information and sensory input flow to the system, we're segmented between these chakras. They are discrete vantage points that don't map, they don't match, they don't meet quite often unless and until enough consciousness is arrived at in the human system that says, I'm going to choose as a man to speak from my second chakra in this moment. I'm going to choose to prioritize second chakra speak over third chakra speak, or fifth chakra speak, or in my brain or in my head chakra speak. I'm going to choose to speak the language that my partner is speaking from in the present moment. I'm going to focus my consciousness in my second chakra. If my partner's in her second chakra, I'm going to move to my second chakra and I'm going to speak from there. And every word I speak from there will literally be different than if I was in my heart, or if I was in my third chakra and my throat chakra and my sixth chakra. And by choosing to override my default habitual familiar tendency, my uncomfortable comfort zone, or my zone of safety, oh, I'm really intellectual or rational, and that's supposedly going to solve everything, so I'm going to stay in my third chakra all the time. Or I'm going to speak from my heart because that means I really care, even though she's speaking from her second chakra, and that's where her emotions are being processed. I'm going to assume that if I'm in my heart chakra, that's going to fix everything. And it doesn't. Why the heck not? Because of this fragmentation, this segmentation of the chakras that have not been cleared, evolved, developed, brought to consciousness, and collapsed and integrated into each other so that we can speak from every chakra in every word all the time and be heard and received, even at the second chakra level or the third chakra level or the heart chakra level or the sixth chakra level of the other. So is this, the whole world is vitally, as an evolutionary paradigm, is vitally dependent upon relationship as its foundation, not relationship, monogamous relationship to the ecosystem, to all other species, relationship to God, relationship to all of our past lifetimes, relationship to all of our potential future lifetimes, the relationships between each of our chakras, the relationships of mind, body, spirit, and soul. An energy system. The relationship of perceived self to perceived other, of individuated soul process to collective or to tribe or to nation or culture or religion. All of this matters, and we currently are not informed or educated or conditioned to optimally navigate all of these seemingly disparate points of view and arrive at a consistent, harmonious murmuration as a species, working together for the common good, based on common goals and common values and common understandings and common learning, common vantage points. There must be an evolution of the species in order for that to occur. We're striving to create that result via the social movement engine, that achieved capacity to speak the language of other moment by moment by moment, and to utilize AI to support artificial intelligence, to support that augmentation of the human communication system that has not as of yet evolved naturally in its native process of evolution in our species.